Can you imagine a life with no more self-doubt, no more negative talk or judgment? Having passion and purpose every day of your life? Come join us. This is The Defining Path. Welcome back to another installment in The Defining Path. Today we're going to talk about welfare days. Some of you have emailed me and asked me to share about the time I was on welfare and what that looked like. Thanks for reaching out and letting me hear from you. I love that. I've also had requests to talk about the $29 million I mentioned in the introduction video. I'm reluctant to share much about either one of these. Wait till you watch the video on 29 million reasons to quit. I think your head's going to spin off your shoulders. These videos aren't about me or for me. They are to try to help you find the path that leads you to your best life. The only reason I agreed to share these videos was so I could share some knowledge, some real life experience that I think you can relate to. So today, we'll talk about welfare days. Let me try to paint a picture for you. Do your best to walk in my shoes and really think hard what you would do. Football's over. I'm in my last quarter of college. What financial aid doesn't pay for, I have to make up with my job parking cars. My parents have been divorced for a few years now. My dad's unemployed as usual. My mom works as a bank teller earning about $9,000 a year. One night I get a call from my off-again, on-again girlfriend that I've been dating for about 4 years. We'd broken up about 2 weeks before, so I was a little surprised to hear from her. As soon as I said hello and picked up the phone, I hear the words, "I'm pregnant." You've probably seen the movie The Matrix. Well, this is a Matrix moment where everything seems to go in slow motion. I'm sure I turned white as a ghost and I got that nauseous feeling in my stomach. I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version of a very long story. I'm 23 years old, married, have a child, living in my in-laws' house, working as a valet parking cars, and I'm trying to finish college. Welfare paid for the hospital bills, and the state of Ohio was paying for financial aid, paying my bills to finish school. My dad's not working, mom makes $9,000 a year, I have no grandparents, my in-laws are providing food and shelter. How are you feeling at this point? Let's keep going. It was the day of commencement. I walked to get my diploma, and when I open it, it's blank. No degree. As it turns out, one of the professors lost my computer assignment, so he failed me. I had to go to school for another quarter if I wanted my diploma. FYI, kids, there were no online classes at the time, and going back to school for another quarter just wasn't an option. Let's review again. I'm literally buying my clothes at Goodwill. I didn't even have a suitable outfit to interview in. I don't even have enough money to do anything. I'm living with my in-laws, I'm 23 years old, I have a child, a wife, now I have no college degree. Wow, every self-help book I've read, every podcast I've listened to talks about being empty, being lost, having questions, being uncertain, being afraid, having nothing. I'm here to tell you, I lived all that and much more. My back end was on the ground with the weight of the world holding me down. When life puts you on the ground, you have two choices. You can either stay there and die, or take everything you have, pick yourself up, and get off the ground. You don't care what people think. You don't care where you are. All you focus on is getting off the ground, doing whatever you have to get out of that unwanted circumstance you're in. It doesn't matter how you got there. All that matters is what you do next. You have to shut off the negative messages, the noises in your head. You have to have a plan, and then another plan, and then another plan, until you get off that ground, out of that hole, or whatever other unpleasant thing you could think of. Here's the thing, when you're in that situation, as I was, you have nothing to lose. There's nothing to risk, because you have nothing. I had all my dad's messages in my head yelling at me. You're a village idiot. You're a dreamer. You don't know shit. You'll never amount to anything. Taking everything into consideration, can't say my in-laws were very happy with me either. 3 things saved me. confidence and belief this was not my destiny. This was not going to be my story, regardless of the messages my dad gave me my entire life. Everything you've heard and will hear on these videos, I did. I'm not one of those guys that tell you a bunch of BS. I've actually done it all. The second thing, my sports background. I learned lessons many times, no matter what the score is, no matter what the odds are, how big they are against you, you can still win the game. If you want it bad enough, if you do the work, and if you believe. The third thing I believe saved me was my mom. Yep, good old mom. There she was, positive, which was great, but didn't really pay the bills. What did pay the bills is she told me she met a 25-year-old guy who worked for a computer company and was earning $100,000 a year. Mind you, the average income for a college grad, which I technically wasn't, at the time was about $13,000. They needed a sales rep for Ohio. That's all I needed to hear. I was going to get that job. There was not an option. Failure was not an option. Being delayed was not an option. I called that company 10 days in a row, 3 times a day. I wasn't going to stop until they gave me an opportunity. I was so hungry and I wanted that job so badly. There were more qualified candidates, smarter people, but nobody wanted that job worse than me. This was a computer company. Honestly, I didn't even know what CPU stood for at the time. I got the opportunity and I got the job, but I was so afraid I was going to be fired when they discovered my lack of knowledge. Guess what? You have to face your fears as I did. No one was going to outwork me, outlearn me. I worked long hours. I was creative. I was fearless. I hustled. The first month, I won a car and earned $10,000. The rest is history. You see, the things that happened in my life, the obstacles that were put in my path, were supposed to be there. Everything that happened to me was supposed to. I learned work ethic. I learned the power of persistence. I have the most amazing son God could ever give a dad. I learned faith, hunger, belief. It all paid off. When your backside is against the ground, get up. Be prepared to fight the negativity, the messages, whatever the circumstances are. That was true 30 years ago. It'll be true 100 years from now. Pandemic or not. Uncertainty, questions, confusion, setbacks, obstacles, all can be overcome with passion, drive, and desire. Add purpose in there, and you become unstoppable. For now, let's ease on down the road and make sure you're on the path that leads you to your best life.